And welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Contract Crunchers. I'm here with, my best friend, Sai.
Yep, and I'm here with my best friend, Josh.
Oh, my God, that's so cute.
So sweet.
All right, and before we get started, special thanks to Cruisin' Sports and the Jason Taylor Foundation for giving us all this equipment and the backing to start our very own podcast. We can't thank them enough. And with that being said, Sai, take it off.
Yep. Today we're going through the O-line market and then also the tight end market.
Two very underrated positions.
Exactly. The blockers doing all the dirty work for the offense, giving them time for the wide receivers to get open, getting the quarterback on their feet, opening gaping holes for the running back.
Yeah, and when the QB gets hit, the first people there are the O-linemen.
Exactly.
They're always got the QB's back. And, the first person that, gives the ball to the QB, the first interaction.
The centers, if you think about it, really hard job. I mean, they have to snap the ball to the QB, make sure it's a perfect snap, not too high, not too low.
Yeah.
And then also immediately just get up and find the right person to block. Yeah.
No, it's a tough position. And then
it's a really tough position.
And then when you're under center, you're really close to the center. Like the QB, they have to be they're basically one, They tap.
Yeah, they tap the behind of the center to snap the ball. It's all a part of the cadence. But I think the position's gotten some light in the past couple of months because of
the New Heights podcast.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce. That's what gave us the inspiration for this.
Yeah.
We're two brothers. They're two brothers.
Exactly. But Jason Kelce is like a universal player now among the people. It's great that there's some light being shed to the center market, and
and then what's his name? Jalen Hurts has said about Jason Kelce, he snaps the ball so fast, and Jason Kelce was like, I got a block.
Yeah, and also Jason Kelce, that push play that it's a very controversial play. That
92%.
Yeah, 90%. That's all starts. Jalen Hurts, he can deadlift 600 pounds, so he can take on a lot of weight. Yeah. But Jason Kelce is the one starting up there, making that possible.
Yeah, as Jason Kelce said, you have to get, if you're underneath everyone, you did good. Mm-hmm. And, every Eagles fan, every fan in the NFL, 3rd and 1, if you're playing against the Eagles, might as well not even try. Some players like Javon Holland, we've seen try jump the O-line. That doesn't help. Nothing helps. Not even 6'8", 6'5" Raekwon Davis helps.
Have to get low as a defender. Can't get high. High just doesn't help. But yeah, Jason Kelce, great center, the highest paid center in the NFL. Actually, he has a
well deserved.
Yeah, he's making $15 million a year around.
Yeah, he wanted to retire recently. Actually, 2 years ago before the Super Bowl run.
He is 36 years old. He's getting there. Yeah, but. That's why the Eagles only signed him to a 1-year, $14.25 million contract.
Yeah, still a good amount of money. Is it all guaranteed, Si?
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah, the guy's getting his bag.
Oh well, only 1.1 million of it is guaranteed, but he's that's not great guaranteed money to be honest for him. But he's probably gonna make the rest as well, just through bonuses. Bonus of being on the roster as such, because I think the Eagles structured it the way that they did because they didn't want injuries. A 36-year-old, you never know when he can get injured. I think Jason Kelce has an extensive injury history. Yeah,
their GM from UGA, Go Dogs, he's
Howie Roseman.
He's pretty good at his job.
Yeah, that's why I do agree with them having to give less money guaranteed to a 36-year-old player. at the end of the day.
Yeah, it makes sense. Even if he only makes the guaranteed money, basically from his revenue from in the Heights and all the commercials he does, it's
exactly,
it's crazy.
But
his PR team, whatever he uses, or maybe it's just himself, whatever he does beyond the fields is to see him just everywhere, make a name for himself. He's a character. He's a great personality. He's one of the hottest men in the world. The magazine was saying.
Yeah.
Sai, you should have been there, but you got snubbed.
I got snubbed. But yeah. The $10 million roster game bonuses completely makes sense. And the only reason they only signed him to a 1-year contract is because they wanted him to give him the option of, if he wants to retire, he can retire.
And he's been with the team since
But if
he was drafted.
If you don't want to retire, we got a contract waiting for you. We got a spot waiting for you.
Yeah, they'd love to have him.
Yeah. He embodies their whole vision of, the brotherly love. Everyone sees him as the player that embodies the Philadelphia Eagles.
He bites the kneecaps.
What?
He bites the kneecaps like Dan Campbell.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
If y'all got that, If you know, you know. But, another center that plays for the best team in the NFL, I think we're a bit biased, but Connor Williams, he recently tore his ACL.
Before that, he was on a 2-year, $14 million contract coming from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Great center.
We beat the Cowboys, by the way. Great game.
We did go to
poor
that game.
Poor boys.
But he had a 2-year, $14 million contract. It wasn't fully guaranteed. I think this year only $2 million of those dollars were guaranteed out of the $7 million. And Connor Williams, rightfully so, he did hold out because he's not as old of a player as Jason Kelce.
No, he's only in the 5th season.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for him to not have an injury guarantee, something like that worked up in his contract. And he's only 26 years old. Yeah. And
he didn't hold out for too long in minicamp, but
yeah,
he definitely deserves whatever he's gonna get. I don't know if he'll get it with the Dolphins after this season, because
he was the number 1 rated center
before his injury.
But you can see why he was trying to hold out and get his guaranteed money, because at the end of the day, what happened to him? He got injured towards the second half of the season, which is brutal. And now I don't think the Dolphins reworked his contract.
No, I don't. They didn't. But as you could see the importance of the center market, of centers in general. When Lee Michaelberg came in during that Titans game, the first or second snap was a fumble.
Yeah, it was a botched snap.
Yeah.
Tua had to go get it, fumble. Yeah. Titans recovered it.
And we're on the 1-yard line, too.
And
it was tough.
We lost in a really close game. It was only by 1 point, I believe.
Yeah.
That they won?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in things like that, when in the red zone, when it matters.
The 1-yard line.
1-yard line?
That was a 1-yard line.
1-yard line.
Maybe it's 2-yard line.
Yeah. The center, it starts at the center. They're the one who snaps the ball. They're the one who touches the ball first.
People say the QB is the most important position, but who gets the ball to the QB?
Exactly.
The center.
Exactly. And if there's a miscommunication between there, if it's a revolving door of centers, then for the QB, there's never going to be enough communication to where it's perfect. Yeah, because
they have to understand the cadence. We saw with Josh Dobbs with the Vikings that
Garrett Bradbury as a center. Yeah.
He had to learn Josh's cadence, Dobbs' cadence.
Yeah, we got to see it on the mic'd up.
Yeah, it was crazy. That just shows the importance of, the chemistry you need to have with your centers. Not just, the wide receivers, the tight ends, and the running backs, but with your centers, because, if you don't get the ball, you can't really start the play. That's kind of the most important aspect of...
Yeah, I really agree with your point. All right. I think we shed some light on the centers. Let's move outside, a little outside of the O-line.
We're spreading... We're like Moses. We're parting the sea. We're moving to the right and to the left.
Right and to the left. Now, I'm going on to the guards.
And the guard, I think most people know, is Quentin Nelson. We got that.
All-Pro a couple of years ago.
That was not planned out. We just said it in perfect sync. Now he owes me a Coke.
It was definitely planned out.
Yeah.
To be honest.
All right, so Quentin Nelson, I haven't heard him much this year, but the past 3 years when he was a rookie, on his rookie deal, he got All-Pro every season, I believe.
He's a stud.
He really is. He just mauls people. And I think the biggest reason Jonathan Taylor had this season he did last year, 2 years ago. Last year? Whenever.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but maybe last year.
I think so. Recently. Was because of the O-linemen. And Quentin Nelson in particular. He was making huge gaping holes for Taylor to run through, and without him, he would not have had the season he had. Anyone, I think even you, Sai, with your scrawny legs, could have ran through the Colts O-line.
Yeah, the Colts O-line is definitely one of the best in the league right now, even still with their left tackle, right tackle.
Zach Moss is running there, and he's having a productive season. He didn't have a productive season in Buffalo,
but he's turning in his best season out of his career. But you can see that they lost Anthony Richardson as the QB through
Yeah.
the shoulder injury, put in Gardner Minshew in as the starting QB, and he's really making an impact because the O-lineman is giving him so much time, but
Yeah.
also Zach Moss is turning in his best season through the holes that the Colts are offering.
Yeah, when you're able to have a good play action, plus a good running attack and a decent QB with a good O-line, you're in a good spot. I mean, when Tua is well protected, as we saw versus the Cowboys, he looks like an all-pro talent. He looks like one of the best QBs in the league. Definitely the best QB in the league. No biases there, but Gardner Minshew, he barely has to move out the pocket. He is kind of mobile. People don't give him credit for that. All they see when they think of Gardner Minshew is his mustache. I mean, I love his mustache. I'm trying to grow out his mustache. But besides that, having a good alignment, having a good guard to pull and make way for
The running back.
Yeah. To having Lester Cotton.
It's almost like the O-linemen are acting like fullbacks at this point with how they motion and then create holes. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, I mean, when Robert Jones and Robert Hunt were in our line, and with Isaiah Wynn, we were running like crazy. When we played the Broncos, every run was 10-plus yards, 60-plus yards.
Yeah.
Because the O-linemen, the guards, they're going from the right guard and they're pulling over for the pitches.
Sadly, we're plagued by injuries right now, but
even still,
Mike McDaniels runs a lot of his plays on motions. Yeah.
And some might say that the Dolphins O-line is good because of all the play actions and whatnot in the pass attack. But I mean, they're still really good because they're not getting helped by the pass attack that much. They still give Tua time, although Tua does get the ball off really fast. If we had a bad O-line, Tua would be getting demolished out there. I mean, we've seen that many times when the pocket collapsed, but...
Yeah, but going more into Quentin Nelson's contract, 4 years, $80 million, great contract. I mean, it's a steal for them, and also he gets $40 million guaranteed, half his contract guaranteed in that. It's a great contract.
The guy's living a good life.
Yeah. And, $19 million fully guaranteed if he's on the roster. Things like that. So those guarantees are pretty easy to get as long as he plays at the level he's playing right now.
Yeah, and I think he will. I mean, Notre Dame, where he came out of, I think that's O-line U for sure.
Yeah. And then he also gets $31 million right at the signing bonus, so that's guaranteed money right there. It's just a great contract for him. Hard worker.
Yeah, so he's making good money. But moving to the right side of the O-line, we have a really good guard, veteran from the Dallas Cowboys.
Zach Martin.
Yes, sir.
He was a stalwart on that. He is still a stalwart on that Cowboys offensive line.
Yeah.
But I think he's been there since Tony Romo has played, has he not?
He's been there for ages.
Yeah, I feel like if I just think about the Dallas Cowboys offensive lineman,
you think of
Zach Martin.
Yeah.
That's one of the first names that come to mind. But yeah, he great player. I mean, I do think he had a couple injuries in his past, but
he barely holds.
Yeah.
I see on Instagram that I don't think he's had a single holding call in his career.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an impressive player, and that's why he gets paid handsomely for his job. I mean, he's making $37 million a year, something like that.
He's making good money,
Yeah.
He same thing with Quentin Nelson. He pulls. He gave Tony Pollard some space to run, although on the goal line he didn't do a very good job. I'm not saying that was his fault, but I think it was just Deshaun Elliott, doing Deshaun Elliott things, preventing Tony Pollard from crossing the end zone.
Yeah, but going back to the contract, he $37 million, but for 2 years only, so that's $18.5 million a year. And then on top of those $37 million a year, he's making $11 to $12 million from a previous contract that he signed with the Dallas Cowboys, one that he restructured with them. And so if you count that in, that's $24 million a year, and it's greatly deserved for that type of a talent who can just impact the whole offense entirely just with his blocking. No negative plays from him.
No. Barely holds, barely does any false starts.
Yeah.
Great player, great attitude, hard worker. I mean, and you see the linemen, the only players that are on the floor after the play, besides players that are getting tackled, are the O-linemen. And they always help each other out. They always pick each other up. And they're the ones getting thrown to the floor, or throwing others to the floor on basically every play. So it's not easy being a lineman. You have to have a big diet. And if they stop on their diet, they're not going to...
A lot of sacrifices that they have to make.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're on diet. It's a different type of diet.
Well, they have to eat a lot.
They have to eat a lot. Yeah.
Specific nutritionary plan.
A lot of protein. Yeah. Have you ever seen J.J. Watt's meal?
Oh, yeah.
J.J. Watt has to eat like an offensive lineman for all that
he's jacked. Like, he's huge.
But yeah, a lot of hard work that goes into it.
Yeah,
but
sure.
You know who's someone that the QB has to trust their life with?
The right tackle or left tackle, depends.
Left tackle depends. If it's a right-handed QB, left tackle, left-handed QB.
We're just used to the lefties. You know?
We're used to watching Tua, so the right tackle is the most important for us. But around the league, it's the left tackle.
And the best left tackle, I think, is Trent Williams.
Don't even have to argue about it, to be honest.
You see him on the O-line, he's twice everyone's size, even the O-lineman.
And while he's twice everyone's size, Kyle Shanahan still makes him do what are those? Oh, the word's not coming to my head. The motions. Yeah, the motions. He motions Trent Williams, a 300-pound guy.
The guy's huge. Guard. The guy's fast. The guy is everything.
He's a whole package. He's definitely one of the best non-QB players in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, if there's an MVP for O-lineman, I think he will get it for sure.
Every year.
Man is a stud. I mean, and then you see Teron Armstead, that he came from the Saints to us. You know, he was a stud for the Saints too. But going to Teron Armstead's contract, it's 6 years, 138.
He means Trent Williams. Trent Williams' contract.
Trent Williams, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. Trent Williams' contract, 6 years, $138 million. With a $30 million signing bonus and $23 per year. And then 40 was guaranteed at signing, and there's a 55 total guaranteed. The guy's making a lot of money. And then in 2024, this upcoming season, he's an out of 3 year, $60 million for a $30 million, $29 million dead cap. The guy's making good money. I mean, and he has an easy out this year. And they're definitely not going to use the out. But you know, he's 35 years old, but he's only making $1 million this year because they restructured his contract so they could fit, you know, Kyle Juszczyk and everyone else in it. But he got a bonus of $18 million. So that's where his money went. But he's still not the highest paid on average per year for a left tackle.
Yeah, it's crazy to believe that.
For $23 million.
But it is another great player that is paid the highest amount of money, and that's Laramie Tunsil, Miami Dolphins legend.
He is a legend in the Miami Dolphins community. I mean, he really should have a statue in front, right next to Dan Marino.
I mean, I think his trade netted us Tyreek, Javon Holland,
Bradley
Chubb, so many players with that studs. But Laramie Tunsil still a great player by himself. He gets the reason we remember him is because of the trade, but he's a great left tackle for the Texans.
No one gives him enough credit, but he's also really big and he's really good. But he's making $25 million a year without an agent.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why, the Texans had to, at the time, they did it a while ago, too. They did it before the Trent Williams trade, so it wasn't like Laramie Tunsil was trying to beat Trent Williams.
Yeah.
And they had to pay him that much because, you know, when you give up, like, 3 or 4 first-round picks, like the Texans did, a couple second-round picks, I believe, so much draft capital, you got to keep the guy that you traded for that much. And Laramie Tunsil just had all the advantages when negotiating that contract.
Yeah, he had the high ground, one might say, when they played Fortnite, you know? The advantage.
And he didn't have to pay, I don't know, like, I think the agent would take a 10% haircut for any contract.
They used to take 3 or 5%.
3 to 5, okay, I was way off.
Yeah, I mean, 10%, I'd love 10%, but 3% I think is the max the NFLPA allows the agents to take.
I mean, in his contract, that would be $2.3 million, isn't it? 3 years, $75 million. $2.3 million from that whole contract if he takes a 3% stipend.
That's not bad. Stipend.
Yeah, stipend.
That's not bad. That really isn't bad. I mean, yeah, 3%. of 25 mil a year for 3 years.
It's impressive.
That's pretty good.
Moving on to the right side of that O-lineman.
For the lefties, this is the most important one.
Yeah, for Tua.
Austin Jackson.
Action Jackson.
Action Jackson.
Action Jackson?
That's what they call him.
Wow.
I met
know that.
Austin Jackson a year ago. No, like more than that. I saw him at Chipotle on Davie Road. Don't go there. It was pretty good Chipotle. I saw him online. I said hi, and I took a picture with the guy.
Yeah, but everyone at that time thought he was a bust, a first-round bust. Everyone was saying, why did we pick him over some of the other people that were still on the board? Really just, shut down those narratives with his play this year. I mean, it's probably going to be a Pro Bowler the way he's played. Yeah. Definitely going to be a Pro Bowler in my opinion.
I mean, he's quick, he's agile, he's strong, he's fast. He shut down Joey Bosa. He shut down whoever he went up against.
Yeah, it's really impressive, and it wasn't. He didn't mired by penalties. There isn't a holding call we see every single game from him.
Yeah,
very clean player overall.
Very much so.
And so he got the contract that he deserved, a 3-year, $36 million contract with the Dolphins.
Yeah, and then he's making $12 million a year. My bad. Which is
$12,000 a year.
Nah. That's not that much money for a left tackle. Right tackle, but for
with Lane Johnson making $20.1 million a year, it's different. But yeah,
I thought it was a steal. This is really a steal
for the player that's making the Pro Bowl this year. $12 million is just not a lot.
He's very young too.
Yeah,
he's young 20, early 20s, definitely 24 years old.
24. Yeah. What is he? He's his fourth year in the year?
Fourth.
It's got to be fourth. If he signed a contract, you can only sign one after the 3. I think it's his fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
his fourth.
Whatever.
Fourth, fifth. We're close.
He's really made a turnaround. Austin Jackson, everyone thought he was a bust. He's a bust, but every year in training camp, he's busting his behind off. And he's working. He's the first one in, last one out, and it proved to work. He got his bag. He might get another one after this contract ends, and he's solidified himself as one of the best O-linemen we have.
Yeah.
And this allowed the Dolphins to basically run better. And then when Robert Hunt was in the lineup, I believe he was right guard. We were able to run to the right side.
Yep.
Every time, at least 5 yards, and
it was beautiful to see. But
it was. Hopefully, Robert Hunt gets better soon. But the O-lineman in general, I think one of the most important positions in all of football.
Me and Josh just wanted to shed some light on the O-lineman, and I feel like we've done that.
Yeah, I think they should get paid more, honestly.
Yeah. And they get underlooked as well as part of the team. I saw this video, this TikTok, where the young children just all gravitated towards Jalen Hurts when players like Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, and Jason Kelsey were there. So, just wanted to give some attention to the O-linemen out there.
Speaking of the Eagles O-line, they got some good Christmas jingles out there. But, O-linemen, very important. They should get paid more. But tight ends, you see George Kittle, he's basically an O-lineman with his size, what he does to opposing defenders. It's crazy.
Pancakes them, and then also just pancakes the linebacker one play, and then the next play he's out there running
60-yard touchdown.
Catching a touchdown, yeah.
Juking some safeties, some linebackers. It's really, really impressive the way he's able to manhandle some people and then, juke them out 2 minutes later.
But yeah, tight ends are also a very undervalued position.
Yeah, recently, it's got more value, but still.
Yeah, recently got more value through, National Tight End Day.
I think the person who really made tight ends stand out is Mike Gesicki, with the gritty that he did.
Everyone, no, not that.
That got everyone, looking at him. But he's with the Patriots now, so he's having fun on the Patriots more than the Dolphins, I'm sure.
But yeah, one thing you do notice about the tight ends is that the receiving tight ends will always get so much more money. Than an average tight end who just catches the ball, can't really block well, is getting way more money than a superior run blocking tight end that is not average at catching the ball.
Yeah, Darren Waller, he can't block that well, but he's making 17 a year.
Yeah, I think he's the highest paid tight end.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean,
he's really good. I mean, he jump ball, he mossed
Yeah.
Eric Rowe when we played against him. But 17 a year for someone.
don't get me wrong, he's a great player, but George Kittle is an exception here. I mean, George Kittle can catch and he can block so well. I mean, he's putting in the extra effort, but for someone who can't contribute in both facets of the game, I mean, I feel like it's harder to justify one of those contracts being given out, such as the one to Darren Waller. But
I mean, George Kittle making, 5 years, 75 mil a year, 18 signing bonus, and 15 mil a year. I think he should be making more. You see right tackles make 25 plus, 25. So
yeah, I think George Kittle is just a whole different beast compared to all these other tight ends. Don't get me wrong, Travis Kelce also one of the history's greatest tight ends, but the blocking is
he's a catch. He's a wide receiver.
Yeah, he's
but a big wide receiver.
Travis Kelce, I feel like, is almost an exception as well because he lines up from the slot for the Chiefs.
Yeah, he does
Mike
everything.
Gesicki lines up in the slot for the Patriots.
I think Mike Gesicki's like a mini Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, so much potential.
they run the same. It looks like they, you look at them, they look the same. Just Travis Kelce's bigger and older.
Yeah, but these run blocking tight ends, such as we just use Dolphins examples around here because we know them so well. But
Yeah.
Durham Smythe, the starting tight end for the Dolphins right now.
And Julian Hill.
Yeah, Julian Hill,
UDFA.
the rookie. Yeah. But
I mean, Smythe is making 2 years, $7
and he
million.
just signed that last year as well.
Yeah.
Last year, the year before, I'm not quite sure, but
last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
2 years, $7 million, and he is a great elite run blocking, in my opinion, or elite run blocking tight end. Not great in the catching game. He
went off last game. He went 5 for 56 yards.
Yeah, he catches the ball when it needs to be done. He's reliable, but $3.5 million for his caliber in the run blocking game, it just doesn't make sense to me almost because it's like I feel like sometimes you just have to compare them to an O-lineman, a hybrid O-lineman.
Yeah, because they could catch the ball and they could block. If you have a Joey Bosa coming off the edge, if you have a Khalil Mack.
Yeah, they could really help the left tackle out there. It's like a double team almost on them.
Yeah, if you have a Micah Parsons, you just put a Julian Hill, you put a Durham Smythe on him.
Especially because these O-linemen aren't as speedy as like a tight end sometimes. So like a Micah Parsons, a slender guy.
Yeah, he's
much. He's much less bulkier than the other defensive ends out there, and a tight end can match a really good tight end who, like George Kittle. I feel like George Kittle and Trent Williams together is much more impactful than. Don't get me wrong, Trent Williams is a great player by himself, but them two by them together can stop.
They could probably each take a Micah Parsons. Travis.
I mean,
George takes one on one end.
Don't get me wrong. You can't compare the blocking of a tight end to an offensive lineman. I get that the offensive line are much bigger. They don't have to catch, so they can prioritize just blocking. But there needs to be a certain level of blocking that should be apparent in all tight ends.
But there's many times where you could see Julian Hill or Durham Smythe take on an edge defender, maybe because you don't need to. Tua doesn't need that much time in the pocket. They just take on the edge defender, and then boom. So you have the other linemen for whatever else they need. You always see Julian Hill run across the field to block whoever.
Yeah.
When Mostert's taking the handoff, and it's without Julian Hill being able to get that block, without Durham Smythe making that block, that play would get no yardage or negative yardage.
Agreed.
So I think at least run blocking O-linemen, and if they have the ability to catch a ball, that's a plus. But if they could run block or pass block, they're a keeper. You know what they say with keepers.
Yeah,
you pay them.
We just wanted to add that about the tight ends.
Yeah,
so,
2 very underrated positions that should get paid more, but don't. But we give them the love. So if you're a tight end or an O-lineman watching this, shout us out. Give us some love. But
of course, without further ado, I think that's the wrap to this episode.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll catch you on the flip side, y'all.
See ya.